Kodak Ultramax is a 400 ISO colour negative film which is available in 35mm. It's got a fairly medium contrast, medium saturation, and is fairly neutral for skin tones. Released in 2007 as a replacement to Gold 400, which was released in, I believe, 1997. It remained pretty much unchanged until 2021 when they started making it with an S-Star base. That's not important, so don't worry too much about that. But this is going to be a short video on why I think Ultramax is the most underrated 35mm film currently on the market. For a film that's been around for as long as it has, getting on for about 15 years now, it's surprising that more people don't shoot Ultramax, given that it is very similar in characteristics to Gold 200, which has been very, very popular and is what most people gravitate towards when looking at film stocks. With the scarcity of Colour Plus especially, that's increased the popularity of Gold, but somehow people have skipped over Ultramax and then naturally go up to Portra 400, which is about 50% more expensive than the Ultramax itself. Now, for me, I've been using it in point and shoots for years, and I think that that's the kind of photographer that the Ultramax is aimed at. Someone that wants a good all-round film which delivers on sharpness while giving a more eclectic look than the Portra does straight out of camera. Ultramax was ultimately designed as a film to go through consumer mini labs, and that's why it's got those more noticeable characteristics straight out of the box. Whereas something like the Portra 400, being a more professional grade film, is going to be a flatter palette, it's going to be a wider dynamic range, so more shadow and highlight detail, but that will in turn reduce the contrast and saturation, which I think most people are looking for when shooting film in a point and shoot. Don't get me wrong, Portra has its benefits if you are going to be doing manipulation to the photos, but if what you want at the end of the day is results which look good straight out of camera, don't want to worry about sort of editing things like that, and just want to post it on socials or go for 6x4 prints, the Ultramax ultimately, that's where it's strongest because it was designed specifically to do that. As primarily a medium format shooter, as that will tell you and that will tell you, I've found that the popularity of film has definitely benefited us just with availability of films. Take the Gold 200 for instance. That would never have happened without more people shooting film. I don't think manufacturers would have reinvested as much money as they have into the development of new films and essentially new technologies without people shooting film. And I feel like, especially with the price increases that we've had, that's pushed a lot of people out of the market and they've moved on to the little digicams because they see those as a cheaper alternative to film, although ultimately they were never designed to last as long. But being someone that shoots primarily medium format and someone that's been very dissatisfied with Portra 400 for medium format work, especially when it comes to editing, I've never enjoyed trying to remove the sort of red, yellow hues that were in the shadows of Portra. It's a little bit nitpicky, but I've never enjoyed needing to edit the photos as much as I do with Portra. Whereas something like the Pro 400H, which I personally stocked up massively on when it was discontinued, I'm about halfway through my stock of Pro 400H now, and in the back of my mind I'm very aware that at some point I will probably have to go to Portra 400 if something else better sort of doesn't come along. Seeing as the popularity of Gold sort of fueled Kodak to release Gold in 120, I'm hoping that if more people are aware of Ultramax and more people start shooting it, that Kodak will see its benefits and potentially release it as a 120 film, which I think would be amazing. That being said, I can see how that may be a conflict of interest to Portra, and given that the popularity of Portra being sort of the best film on the market, as most people say, if they were to then release Ultramax as a 120 film, that would then pretty much only eat into Kodak's sales of Portra 400 in 120. You could potentially see this as a somewhat selfish video to make, being someone that doesn't enjoy shooting Portra and is running out of stock of Portra 400, wanting there to be Ultramax in 120, and yes, it kind of is, but I also want to make just people more aware that there are other options in the market other than the Portra 400, which, although is a great film for a lot of people, for the majority of people that are shooting film these days and the people that have driven up sales in film cameras and film itself, they want something that looks like film, sort of the 90s, early 2000s point and shoot style with its more higher contrast and high saturation. The Ultramax delivers on that, and when they go up to Portra, I've seen people visibly be disappointed because they're not getting the results they want. They don't realise that Portra is kind of a next level of film that requires editing to get to that point. And those people don't want to start getting into editing. They just want the photos to look good straight off the bat for social media or for prints. And for them, I think the Ultramax is going to be more beneficial. There aren't many 400 speed colour films currently available. From the top of my head, you've got the Fuji 400, which is, I want to say, made by Kodak now, and is also really hard to find, especially in the UK. For whatever reason, the Fujifilm colour films are really scarce. And then Portra 400. If you know of any other 400 colour negative films that aren't made by Kodak specifically, so the Lomo 400, I'm pretty sure that's offcuts of Kodak film, that would be great, and put them in the comments, that would be really good, just for other people's benefit as well as mine. But I feel like it's a film that's going to be more versatile. So the Ultramax is it's a film that will give a specific look, but in doing so, it will be more versatile for scenarios. So if you're indoors and you're using even a pop-up flash, then in a point and shoot, you're going to have more detail in the shadows. So if you wanted to retain the detail, you can pull it out in post. Whereas the gold, even if you're using a pop-up flash, you instantly lose those details because the film isn't as sensitive to it. I'm going to wrap up this fairly somewhat ranty video and just say that if you haven't tried Ultramax in 35mm, I really, really hope that you do. It's worth a try just to see what you think, especially if you're using a point and shoot. It's kind of the ideal film, and yeah, that's what it was marketed for, that's what it was manufactured for. It's just going to be sort of an all-round, I think, yeah, it's worth a try. So yeah, I'm going to leave this little ranty video here, and yeah, do with it as you want. I'm going to try and start making more videos regularly. As you can see, moved house, so more space and more time to make videos, so that should be good. If you're interested in seeing those, please do consider subscribing. If you found this video beneficial, or if you're going to try Ultramax for the first time, leave a like or put it in the comments. And if you enjoy your results, come back and talk about why you enjoyed those results in the comments. That would be really interesting to see. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.